morning. Welcome to the Lee Westwood Sports Centre. This is pitch A. 10:40 kickoff. Got Man United versus Bournemouth. On the pitch for Bournemouth, got Hannam in goal, Skinner, Sevenoaks and Berry. Bournemouth playing in white away from the camera. Man United playing in their traditional home red. Taylor just taking the corner. Burns. Levine and Fitzpatrick in goal playing towards us. I think I'm just about to be joined. Yeah, Alex has thumbs up. I'm joined by Alex Dowding. It's Nick Woodward speaking. Hello, Alex.
Hi, Nick. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Now, you'll be familiar with some of the Bournemouth players. What do you think we can expect from them this morning?
I know they've had a bit of a transition period over the last year or two as well, but a couple of familiar faces, and rather nice as well. A familiar looking face in goal. So Dakota, who is playing goal for Bournemouth, Dakota Hannam, is his brother Liam Drummond, sadly no longer with us, but was the inspiration for starting up Wessex Warriors that then became AFC Bournemouth Warriors as they are now. So nice little touch to have Dakota in goal.
I remember Liam from some seasons ago.
Indeed, yeah, it was, he had a go at power chair football at a event at Stoke Mandeville Hospital, and there's a workshop being run by a certain Mr. Adam McAvoy.
Oh.
Back in 2014.
And he liked it so much, he got a team set up.
He liked it so much, he said, I want to play this again. And Hannah Powers, who is now AFC Bournemouth's EDI officer, listened and decided to set up a power chair football club.
Well, isn't that a great legacy?
Phenomenal. Absolutely brilliant.
Slack. Oh, I said Fitzpatrick. Sorry, it's Slack. Don't know what I was thinking. Josh Slack in goal for Manchester United. And I'm not sure I can see any Bournemouth subs. Manu with 2. Do you know who the subs are? Have you got the refs list?
I haven't, I'm afraid. Give me a sec, I'll pull them up.
Well, I've started to realise I now need to bring my driving glasses to be able to commentate so I can see the far end of the court.
Age catches up with all of us, Nick.
Yeah. So Manu taking control of the game so far.
So on the bench we have number 44 Shannon Smith and number 77 Amory Robertson for Manchester United. I was able to get that information from our wonderful Scoreline app. If you got a smartphone,
courtesy of Jack Humphries.
Indeed. Got a smartphone, either Android or iOS, Apple. You can go to the App Store, search for WFA Scoreline, download the organisations app, which has all the matches, live updates, as goals go in, lineups, who's reffing, live league tables, etc. All for free.
Of course, I mentioned my glasses there, completely omitting Optegra, our wonderful National League sponsors.
Indeed. Perhaps there's an opportunity for
well, I'd hope to stick with glasses first before I availed myself of their wonderful services.
Manchester United team's looking pretty organised so far. They seem to have settled a little bit as a starting lineup with
now,
Josh in goal and Kieran just in front of him.
Very experienced national side aren't they? Sam Taylor, Kieran Burns, Josh Slack. And on the left, I've not seen so much of Levine.
New signing in the transfer window from a sister club, Sale United.
Right, had he played for Sale much? I can't remember.
Yeah, he played a little bit for Sale.
And Sale in the Premiership?
Yes. Played a little bit, but I think they want to give him a bit more game time.
Yeah. Now, there was an enormous amount of transfer activity over the summer. What's the winter window been like?
It's been a couple of interesting moves. Not loads of movement, but there's been a couple of interesting ones. The most interesting one I think you'll find when we get to the Premiership.
Oh.
And our first Dane has signed
Wowzers.
for a Premiership team. I'll let us unveil that one as it went. Manchester United on the attack here. Joe Levine and Sam Taylor exchanging passes near the Bournemouth goal line and didn't quite manufacture the chance they were after, but looking threatening there. They said that they looked a bit more organised this year. I think Pete Taylor's done a fantastic job of setting the team up.
Now, as some context, the one thing we always wanted to do when we got the streaming and the commentary was kind of make a product that was valuable for the English game, so more players could watch matches they'd never seen, and it would attract people in, and their skills would grow. I don't think I ever imagined there'd be international transfers to the extent we've now seen. Argentinian, two Irish players. No, 3 Irish players.
3 Irish players.
And there have been a few Scots. They still travel a long way. They might even travel further than the Irish players, although the Irish players have to get a ferry.
I've got two Scots internationals in the Manchester United squad today in Kieran Burns and Amory Robertson.
Right.
I think I'm pretty certain Amory's played for the Scotland development side.
So this must be the most international league in power chair football.
Potentially, I know there are arguably the combined Irish league would have a high percentage, and the French league for a long time had quite a lot of Belgian players in.
Okay,
the Belgian
but
team.
I might argue Irish and Northern Irish, Belgian and French, but not beyond that, possibly. But
I think there are a few examples of the players going off to Australia to play.
Yeah, I remember Brad Bates did that, didn't he?
Yeah, and it's a little bit more possible over there in some ways, in that they play their championships in a fortnight.
So you can almost treat it like a tournament.
Yeah, because of the geographic challenges associated with an island as large as Australia. We are uniquely set in England in that we have a relatively small country, geographic-wise, large population, and quite a high cultural value on sport, which means that things like the National Lottery exist to be able to help fund grassroots football and grassroots quite well, on top of the wonderful support we get from the FA and our corporate partners. 3 in the box has happened here. Look, Joey Levine in a new team, not quite on the same wavelength, has driven into the box where Josh and Kieran Burns already were.
And that's indirect?
Indirect free kick on the edge of the box for this one.
And it's always on the edge, is it, for 3 in the box?
Yes.
Because you can't. I guess that's where the offence happens, isn't it? By
So
definition. As you enter the box, you create the 3.
So it takes place where the third player entered. So Skinner with the attempt.
So he knew what he was doing there. Was he just trying to hope for a nudge off the opposition?
Yes, I mean it's
lure them in to touch it.
With an indirect, if you hit it directly in front of a player's bumper where they're up against the post, they can't reverse out. They might need to spin out. Sometimes you get a catch. Sometimes they naturally move anyway at the point at which the kick is taken, and you can sometimes get something clever there.
I've not seen a setup like that for a long time, where there's no colleague of Ryan's on the goal line to get the touch.
No, sometimes that can create less space to get the ball through.
Yeah.
So
Sam Taylor driving forward there. Hanneman, Skinner. seeing him off.
Levine driving out the way and not quite seeing the ball. Following him.
So I'm intrigued to know which Dane it is, but we're not going to be allowed to know until I'm air quoting an official announcement later.
I'm unaware because I've been out a very, very busy couple of weeks. So I've not been on social media.
Right.
So I don't know if the team has announced it yet.
Okay.
So I wouldn't want to steal their...
Yep, that's fair dues.
I'd say Thunder, and it's
Yeah,
fine
yeah.
because we don't have a Northern Thunder anymore, so
Yeah.
it's not even a vague clue.
So I've had the good fortune of seeing a number of the Danish teams and players at the Nations, at the European Champions Club tournament in Aarhus, and then in Helsinki, and then in Sydney for the World Cup. They're a really good national squad, aren't they? And the club players accordingly.
And I think you'll recognise there's an international players link as and when the announcements made.
You're teasing me. Let's get back to Man U versus Bournemouth.
Indeed. Nice and calm there by Dakota. I think the Bournemouth goal on the edge of the box.
Ooh.
Taylor did well to get the ball back to Burns, swing and a miss, and Bournemouth were away for a second there. Skinner's managed to sneak a pass through to Adam Sevenoaks on that wing. Couldn't quite
Interesting watching
keep the move going.
Burns and Slack there, just naturally swapping. Obviously got their in-game play sorted, haven't they? As Slack comes up, Burns drop back naturally to take the keeper's position. Burns acting as the linchpin for this team.
Both teams currently very well set for attack. Consequently, there's a fair bit of space.
Yeah.
It's changed slightly now, but both wingers for both teams were high, and both pivot players were in attacking positions, and they looked like they were set for
Taylor just missing the front bumper there. Took a chance to head it towards goal.
Burns has done very well there to keep the ball in, but he wasn't, I don't think, expecting Skinner to do that, and it was a very clever little touch from Ryan Skinner there. Got himself a goal kick, which Alan takes out to Sevenoaks.
I can't imagine this happening in wheelchair football, but there's all the kind of chatter now about now all the teams in the Premier League do a high press and ticky-tacky. The only way to beat them is now to go back to a traditional number 9 and lump it up to them. We've had the game develop now where everyone's playing high. You've got a lot of the keepers will be playing out in power chair football. If it'll do a full circle in a couple of seasons, it'll be, they're set up now to drive it forward. Everyone's behind the ball.
Well, our tactics evolve all the time.
Yeah. And they evolve to beat the opposition, of course. So.
Oh, completely. And, I think there's still a fair bit more evolution to happen with the passing game. I think we've, in England, have started off by going very wide and high. Now we've experimented a little bit more with narrow balls down the middle and inside pickoffs.
Yeah. So neither team here has quite stretched the end.
It's been touched. Double touch.
They haven't really stretched the others to cause any panic, have they? Although Man U are on top.
Yeah, I
don't think Bournemouth have ever had a heart flutter as the ball's headed towards goal.
They've looked pretty solid at the back generally.
Yeah.
But like I say, both teams have created opportunities to create an opportunity. Here is another one. Quick word between Burns and Slack. Levine at the other post. Again, no one in the middle, so it's going to be a pass. It's going out to Slack, I think. Slack's putting it back to Burns, who's attempting a reverse sprint.
Read by Skinner. So from that indirect, you could do a boom if you wanted, couldn't you?
Yes.
I guess a bit close.
Yeah, although boom was I think originated
to deal with that.
that issue.
Chance for Levine to finish on the post. Oh, well, Skinner's reading the game well today, isn't he?
He's quite an experienced player.
Yeah.
Had 2 seasons in the Premiership throughout his career, and played every year that Bournemouth, both as Wessex Warriors and AFC Bournemouth, has been in the National League. Used to be a prolific wide player.
We can hear the players shouting at themselves. Levine shouting, "Come on!" there, but I think it was well read by Hannam in goal.
Burns across to Slack. Slack puts the ball down the middle. Hannam out of goal to clear.
Wonder if this... I've seen Slack and Burns now just starting to play a few yards higher up. I wonder if that will create an opportunity for Bournemouth, you know, for a fast break or a long shot. Manu, I'd say, just getting a tiny bit frustrated.
Hamann and Skinner are doing great things as a combination in that goal.
What's that?
2 on 1. Good. Hamann and Skinner just seem to be both moving in sync. I don't want to put the commentator's curse on them, but they seem to be doing very well at the moment. It's just if they can manufacture a chance, as you say, on the break out to Adam Sevenoaks or Roxy Berry.
Yeah, they're not... Skinner and Hannam aren't relying at all on Sevenoaks and Berry to come back, are they? They're leaving them up, confident in their own defensive abilities. Skinner taking the ball off Levine, who drops away to avoid the 2 on 1.
Sevenoaks has done well. Can Berry knock it back to Skinner?
It's not the pace on it, is there? Quite.
Not enough. Yeah, not enough zip. You need to move the ball faster than a chair can in power chair to really open up space. Potentially a bit of territory here. Can Sevenoaks killing the ball there with a touch? Didn't quite have the space to make the pass. Again, slows the play slightly.
It's funny, isn't it? The two facets of the game: killing the ball with a touch, and the attack dies. Ed Common does that. Was it the Premier League before Christmas?
But Ed uses a wand, not a chair.
Okay. Throws John Boulding a dummy and takes the spire apart. Same skill though, wasn't it?
100%. Taylor, who's been pretty prolific this year as well. Back to Burns, who finds Levine. Taylor.
Oh, that's twice now.
Post.
Just not quite. Being an inch away, Sam Taylor, of getting a shot away with a more open goal.
A couple of minutes left on this first half match clock. And then out to Skinner. On to Skinner, who finds Sevenoaks. Again, not quite.
So I'm not, you know, that I don't. Oh, here's another project for you. XGs. There must be some little video footage you can take and create the XG for Power Chair Football. But that said, although they got a lot of possession, I'm not sure Man U's XG is any different to Bournemouth's XG in this first half, really.
Probably not. I think there was one half opening at one point for Sam Taylor, but although he put it wide, I think it was also had been covered by Skinner and Hannam. So good ball there from Burns to Levine. Levine puts the ball into the box.
So Jack not been able to make it down today, has he, Jack Humphreys? So if he's listening, we could get an XG algorithm going, Jack.
I'll await a message to see if he's listening.
Match clock just about down to 0, so that's with the ref.
other thing I feel this game's potentially missing just a little bit of aggression that you'd see in some other matches.
Burns has been trying to whip his team up a bit and press them on, but I mean, Sam Taylor would have been a very vocal player on occasions, wouldn't he? He's been quiet today.
Yeah, he's had a good season where he's benefited from this Slack-Burns central sort of partnership and scored a lot of goals, and very vocal on the celebrations.
Right.
But a subdued half, I would say, from both teams.
Yeah.
Nice but subdued. So no clear-cut opportunities.
And in the table, where are they? So who's got that handy?
I can
show it.
I can bring the table up and we can have a little chat about it.
There we go.
So table is up. We've got Manchester United in third.
Yeah. So Man U, I mean, given the positions, Bournemouth trying to gain a point, Man U will have been looking for more in that first half, wouldn't they? They don't look like two teams that are that far apart in the table.
Not at all. Although their goal difference of 7, goal for is 7, goals against 7, a 0 goal difference does indicate that they're very tough to break down, but not necessarily rolling teams over in quite the same way that other teams might. So it could be that Bournemouth's defensive performance in that first half could earn them a point here.
Yeah.
Should
we take a short break?
Put that one through, indeed.
Right. Back for the second half shortly. Welcome back to the second half. Yep, Optegra WFA National Championship. Just as we were closing the first half, Alex was saying looking perhaps for a bit more aggression from the teams, and I don't know if you saw there, Kieran Burns kind of trying to pump his team up, get ready for the second half. They'll be third in the table. They'll be looking for some... Man U need these points. Bournemouth need the points as well. They're at the bottom of the table, but Man U, I think, would be disappointed to come away without 3 points from this. But as Alex pointed out, their goal difference is, I think, 0, or not very high. So the points they're gaining are from small margins of wins.
So Manchester United made 2 changes at the half-time break. Both substitutes on, Shannon Smith and Amory Robinson for Sam Taylor and Joe Levine. So straight swaps for 2 wingers. No changes for Bournemouth as they've got 4 in the squad for this weekend.
It's a little homage to Manchester United's of the past. Dennis Law, of course, passed away recently. Dennis Law, a famous Scot, played for Manchester United. And here we have Kieran Burns and I think he said Robertson.
Yeah, Amory Robertson is at
both
the back post,
Scottish player as well. You're a Man U fan. Did it all go downhill when they started employing Portuguese players and managers?
No, it's
started with Ronaldo.
it's when we had a slight change of ownership a few years ago. Is when it started going downhill, and standards across the club were lowered slightly culturally without everyone noticing.
I hope. I haven't heard anything specific, but I've seen on the news that Ineos, who own Manchester United, are starting to make significant cuts across the club structure. Oh, there it is.
Goal scored by Josh Slack from a
very pumped Josh there.
Kick in, taken by Shannon Smith.
I wonder if that will open the floodgates, but although previous games not necessarily. That I think they're relaxed now, Man U. See the coach there, it's Pete Taylor, asking them just to keep calm. Yeah, so there were talk about cuts across the community aspect of Man U as well. You'd hope that doesn't bring an ill wind for the club.
100%. There we go. The other thing this goal might do is it does occasionally fire up a couple of the Bournemouth players who don't like losing. Maybe the extra fire might introduce a bit more pace, and we'll see some more chances created. So you never know. Goal back for Bournemouth would be good for the neutral, I think, on this occasion. Ball running all the way down that line there for a goal kick to Manchester United, which will be taken by Josh Slack. Kieran Burns in the middle, marshalled by Ryan Skinner. Slack to Burns. Burns out wide to Robertson. Just nick the ball off of Ryan Skinner in the middle of the park. That's a great ball out. Roxy Berry can't quite get it across. He does a second attempt. Gets it across the pitch, but not quite deep enough for Adam Sevenoaks. So Manchester United kick in, taken by Burns.
Noticeable, Robertson's just a little more settled in her team play and her skills. Don't know if she plays with Kieran or had done in the national setup in Scotland, but seem a more comfortable pairing than Levine, who I think said just transferred in recently.
Yeah, I think with any new player it can take a little while to settle into the...
Looks like they're reading each other's intentions a bit better. Smith. Across to Robertson. Ooh. I wonder if... Was that a miscue? Or was she going for the pass back? Anyway, a chance there to finish on the far post, which wasn't taken. Went back to Smith, whose shot got saved. So back to a corner. Slack up for the corner. Clearly given him the finishing task ahead of Burns, who's dropped back. Burns and Slack now swapping. Robertson just putting the ball out. So Skinner trying to hit the ball upfield, intercepted by Robertson. Press towards goal. Robertson and Skinner quickly trying to pick the ball back off him. Making hard work of getting the ball out, Bournemouth. Berry, 3 attempts there. And Burns with a shot. Oh, off Skinner. I think Hannam would have had it covered, but might have also been blindsided by Skinner. Burns taking the kick. Smith near post, Robertson far post. Slack has a deep pivot. I don't think it's coming to Slack. Burns across the box. Smith, I think, trying to get out the way there, so it'll go through to Robertson. Now Sevenoaks away with Bournemouth. Unable to get control of the ball, it's gone out. So it's a kick in for Man U. I'd say Man U just notched up their control a bit from the first half. Scored a goal from a corner. And now the balance of play very definitely with Man U. Bournemouth not really had the ball under control in Man U's half in this kind of first 10 minutes of the second half. Skinner took the ball off Burns there, but it went away, and it's now a goal kick for Manchester United.
Bournemouth leading Sevenoaks up high. On the off chance of interception. Didn't quite happen there.
Burns again shouting orders across the team. Sevenoaks taking the kick for Bournemouth. Goes up the line, goes nowhere. Smith intercepts. Skinner sends it out. Just Bournemouth lost composure slightly, I think.
A little bit of frustration creeping in, I think. Limited options in terms of changing stuff up as well, with no substitutes this weekend. Notably Chris King missing for Bournemouth. Certainly, along with Skinner, will be considered one of their best players. So,
ooh, great finish there. Is that? Yep.
Same combination again.
I'm not sure Bournemouth were quite concentrating, are they? They'd have known the danger from Slack. I think Smith perhaps took the kick a bit quicker than they were thinking. But Slack, great finish on the near post. Easy finish for him.
And a different post to last time. Last time it was in off the back post, wasn't it? So perhaps that's what they were covering, Bournemouth. Had in their minds. Skinner with a tactical goal kick, push up to get some territory and try and press.
So, not that we've got an XG algorithm, but given we haven't seen Bournemouth in the box I think we'd have to say their XG is 0 so far for this half.
Certainly is.
So looking hard for them to come back from 2-0. And since Smith and Robertson have come on, Man U have been a bit more expansive with their play. I think they've probably picked the pace up a little as well.
Yeah, I think the particularly Smith on the wing has had a little bit more interaction with Burns in terms of passes.
Oh,
Back
Robertson just not quite on it.
Back and forth, and that creates that space that enables the...
That's another summer project for you and Jack. Can we have the average ball speed on pass? And that'll tell us whether a team's picking it up or not during the game, won't it?
We are working on that one. We are working on that one. So we'll... The AI development is still happening. We won't launch it until we've got some concrete bits and pieces. But yeah, AI analysis of the game is on the cards. Try and increase the streaming production quality. There's a few things we're going to try and do for that as well. But you say it like I've got nothing else on this, haven't it?
Yeah. Well, summer project meaning off season. Because you don't like having a holiday in the summer or spending time with family or anything like that.
None of that. Well, I mean, I do, but they don't like spending time with me, so.
Now, do I remember correctly, the season awards are June the 14th, and then the Nations League is in September. Is that correct? Do we know what that means for the opening fixture weekends, which sometimes might be September?
Let me confirm the 14th first in my calendar. Yes, 14th is now confirmed.
And I think the venue's confirmed again as Leicester. Is that correct?
It is, yeah.
For people who might be starting to make plans.
I'm not sure if dates are 100% confirmed or necessarily embargoed yet for next season. So,
right. Okay. Yeah. But that week will have an impact, but not as significant as the
currently
World Cup.
September has no National League action at all at the moment.
Right.
So
And that would be unusual, wouldn't it?
a little bit unusual, yes.
Yeah.
A little bit unusual, but that's where we're.
But this year there were only 2 National League weekends prior to Christmas anyway, I think. Is that right? Again, because of the World Cup was the year before. Go.
Yeah, and there'll be a bit of international football and other bits and pieces that impact the distribution, if you want, of National League weekends next year. Some of those, as I say, I think are still just waiting to be confirmed and sorted out. But
so Adam McAvoy, like Thomas Tuchel, will be taking over the national squad just as they come out of a major tournament, having lost in a final. Can one of them go one further? Surely one of them can.
Big opportunity for Manchester United. Smith with a great pass across to find Robertson. Well defended so far, but Manchester United still peppering the box with passes.
Robertson just not able to keep the pace on the ball there.
What a wonderful pass from Smith to find Robertson. Made a huge difference in the second half, Smith.
Is that out for a corner? No, Kieran Burns kept it in, keeping the pressure on Skinner and Hannam.
I think that's a little bit of an area of his game he may be able to improve, actually, Kieran. He's got a corner there. Sometimes he's so focused on trying to create an opportunity, he doesn't always do the slightly clever thing when the ball's heading out for a corner and give his team a chance to reset, etc. But
what you mean? Let it go for a corner instead of rescuing it.
He said he worked really hard to keep it in there, and there was a risk that he wasn't going to.
Yeah.
Combination again of Smith
to
Slack. This time Skinner closed it down. The ball did ping out.
Not quite able to finish.
So yeah, we come back to National League dates. It's much more complicated than people think it's going to be. Once we've got National League dates, we then have to let regional leagues know so that they can arrange around them.
Yeah.
And then they get a bit of feedback from them to say things are okay and possible or not. Then we have other scenarios such as the Disability Cup final at St George's Park, which we would never confirmed until a bit later on into next season.
And we do know the date for that this year. I haven't got it off the top of my head.
I can tell you it's not the 14th of June. That's why the National League is there.
But the 14th, therefore, will be the playoffs, or that'll be a different weekend.
I know that'll be the playoffs as well.
Right. And will the playoffs be at Lee Westwood and then move down to left?
Goal scored there. I think it's going to have to go to Shannon Smith. It did come off Ryan Skinner's chair for Bournemouth, but it was on target, so that would go down as a.
The players seem to be giving it to Smith.
I think it was a pass from.
Right, 3 minutes left. XG of 0 for Bournemouth, we'd guess, in this half. So very hard. Well, can't see how they can get back now. Maybe a consolation goal. Skinner sends it high just to put a bit of pressure on.
So Disability Cup final weekend is the 28th and 29th. I don't know if we've had our final confirmed in terms of the Saturday or the Sunday.
Is that of June or May?
Of June.
June, right. So after the end of season awards.
Yes, yeah. So there's National League dates, Regional League dates, then there's Disability Cup final, there's our end of season awards, there's England training camps, St George's availability for those, Lillishall, etc. Then there's obviously, of course, the Lee Westwood availability in amongst all of those.
Must be a finish for Slack. No, good save by Hannam.
Great save by Hannam. United turning it on towards the end of this game. Only a couple of minutes left. They've found the pace and tempo now. And they've got the comfort of the 3-goal lead. So Slack is coming out at goal and taking up the central pivot position. Burns now behind him. Combination again of Smith to Slack. And what has been a very solid partnership at the back between Hannah and Skinner has been undone again.
Yeah, I think that was a defensive error, wasn't it? I mean, Slack did what he had to do, which is put it on target, but given how well they'd performed up until that point, I don't think Hannam and Skinner would have expected to let that one through. No. It's a bit of a shame. 4-0 now to Man U, no way back, 90 seconds left. Man U looking very happy with their performance, having gone in 0-0 at half time. They have picked it up, they moved the ball past there. Their subs have made a difference. And they've pegged Bournemouth back. Bournemouth, I don't think they've had any ball under control in the Man U half. Oh, yet again, Robertson just not quite able to send the ball goalward. Long ball goes to Berish, tries to rescue it, but it's gone out for a Man U kick.
And of course, next date we haven't talked about is Derby on.
Oh, of course,
May the 11th.
What's
Quarterfinals.
What's the
and
title
semi-finals.
for that?
So it's quarterfinal, semi-final day.
Yeah, which is a slightly boring name. Is there another one? Or
Cup finals.
Cup knockouts.
Cup finals day, but haven't quite got the finals. But so a good day last year at Derby. First time we've done it. Lots of good feedback.
And we don't know yet who might be there because this evening is the draw for the
we
cup.
have the cup draw. It's the round 3. 8 teams from the north in the northern section, 8 teams from the south in the southern section.
Beamed live from Lee Westwood at about
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, right.
We just hastily made some alternative arrangements, as sadly Jack's been unable to join us, and he was going to be a part of the draw. But we have alternative plans, so we'll be fine. That will be brought to you hopefully on YouTube and Facebook.
Right, here we go. I think the clock's at 0. It's with the ref. Yeah, all done. So, all credit to Manchester United there. Came back, changed the game up.
Good
substitutions.
Subs on. Good substitutions from head coach Pete Taylor. Shannon Smith came on and really made a difference in terms of zipping that ball around. And unlucky for Bournemouth, they're very good first half. Looked organised and solid at the back there with Hannam and Skinner. It was a tough ask to keep that up, especially with the additional pace injected into the game by those substitutions.
And as things stand, does that move them up the table? I can't remember the two above them, whether they got an air gap or not.
So we'll just confirm the score with the graphics on screen. We'll check the table. And it keeps them in third.
Right.
It does put their goal difference into the plus.
And takes them a bit away from Teesside, although Teesside still yet to play, I think. So Teesside with the game in hand? No, they're on the same games.
Teesside have just played over here on Court B, so they've won 2-0, so the gap's maintained. Leeds Dynamo's the team that could leapfrog Teesside still. A couple of games in hand there, and could put them on to 19 points, so they could move ahead of United.
Right.
Leeds Dynamos.
But unfortunately for Bournemouth, cemented at the bottom. Is that right?
Yes. 4 points on the board though, so there's
scoring. Yeah.
They're only a win away from moving out of the relegation positions.
Yeah. And it's going to have to be on points though, isn't it? They've got a savage goal difference, -37.
They very much do need some points on the board, Bournemouth, to stay out of that playoff process at the end of the season. And
at the beginning of the match, we were talking about international representation. Coming up next here, we've got Monvillas, who's an Irish international, turning up for, is it Villa Lions? I've forgotten which, I can't.
I think Villa Rocket Lions up next.
Yeah.
Let's have a quick check on the fixtures we have. Sale United PFC versus Villa Rocket Lions coming up. And also Leeds Dynamos versus Hull and East Yorkshire PFC. Both games available live on the WFA YouTube channel.
So, should we leave it there from this Optegra WFA National League Championship game?
We will, and we'll see you soon.